living systems on the planet. One of those living systems is the rainforest, home to the most amazing concentration of life on the planet. These dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the earth.
Warm
But
right
they
here.
contain more than half of its planetary climate. Rainforests are also extremely rich in protected living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicine, and other elements essential to life.
Alligator, brother, alligator, look. That's pretty cool. Like sand in the desert.
In the desert, nature has created a very different, but no less beautiful living system. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. The plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun.
Dudes. Groundhogs?
The American prairie once appeared as desolate as the desert, but over time, rainwater and nutrients rapidly penetrated the hard surface of the soil. Even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm.
Where's the dog? On the porch? Yeah. With the chickens.
Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and sometimes overuse of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods. Today, we're learning to live with the wind, discovering better ways to grow food that will ensure both human and environmental well-being.
Here at Epcot, we're learning to reduce the need for chemical pesticides by breeding and using natural predators, like ladybugs and wasps, to control pests. In the farmlands across America, we're learning that by plowing under vegetation containing natural fertilizers, we can enrich the soil without the use of chemicals. In arid regions, we're learning to produce food on desert seacoasts by developing and planting crops that thrive on salt water. In Japan, we're learning that by mixing leaves and other living materials into our soil, we can make food without
How will we meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead. To help us maintain these carefully controlled ecosystems, and for your safety, please remain seated in your boat at all times.
Please do not touch the sand. Ceiling wax palm.
Welcome to our living laboratory, where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future.
Look, rice. Did
The tropics are home to the greatest diversity of plants on the planet. Many of these, like papaya, bananas, cacao, coffee, and rice, are well known
Look at them big
around the
ones.
world. These are just a few of the edible plants that have been an important source of nutrition for people living in the tropics. Many are rich in vitamins and minerals, while others are well adapted to growing in less than ideal conditions. Some, like the water lily, thrive in wet, swampy areas and waterways. All parts of this plant, even the flower petals, are edible. The starchy root of the plant has long been used to make flour for baking.
Look, some vanilla.
One day, many of these lesser-known tropical plants may be as important as the bananas growing on both sides of the boat. More than 28 million tons of bananas are eaten annually, making it the most popular fruit in the world.
Oh, look at the fish. Look how big. See him? Look at the big fish, Ash. Tilapia. Oh, the tank is full. What are these? Bass, hybrid bass. Look. What we have here? More bass. Striping. That's what we call it Spanish lake. More tilapia. Shrimp, look, bro. Hey, shrimp.
And still protect natural resources.
Look the greenhouse. Basil. Buddha's hand.
While there are more than 50,000 edible plant species in the world, most of us are only familiar with the handful that make up our everyday diet. The common grains growing here,
Passion fruit.
maize,
Edible
sorghum, and
flowers.
millet, plus rice, account for nearly 2/3 of our
More
global
rice.
food consumption. Learning how to increase yields of these staples is an important goal of research around the world.
A 9-pound lemon. Look.
These plants are definitely on their way up. Innovative growing techniques like these increase yields
Ooh, there we
while
go.
more efficiently using resources like water, fertilizer,
Good
and
Friday
pesticides. Another innovation at work here is our integrated pest management program.
Cucumbers. Ooh, there you go.
With beneficial insects that prey on harmful
That's
pests
cool.
like
Oh, they got
aphids and
7
flies,
bucks on them.
we are significantly reducing our reliance on conventional pesticides.
Lettuce.
We're growing these crops using our nutrient film system. This technique precisely controls and recycles water and nutrients. With it, we can produce over 27,000 heads of lettuce a year in this one small area.
Yeah.
Some of our best ideas have been inspired by nature, like these cool vegetable trees. By growing these ground plants vertically, we can increase yields and better control diseases. These crops taste as good as
Cucumbers
they look.
again.
In fact, we serve more than 15
Oh, they got some nice ones on there, bro.
in restaurants here in the land every year.
Basil.
Grow your own food here. Like my own cost, increase your profit margins. And then they got the high
They're great. Look at the fish in there.
The future of agriculture may include innovative ideas like this vertical growing system. Plants grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional growing methods. That saves water and increases production. The aquaponics system on your left combines hydroponics with aquaculture. The fish provide a natural source of fertilizer for the plants, and the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less. In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. The goal of these efforts is to backyard gardeners yielding and better quality and quality of foods that we all rely upon. Together, we can continue to find more ways to increase food production and protect our precious natural environment. Only then will we truly be living with the land.
Somewhere 12 minutes.
These greenhouses represent just a fraction of the work being done worldwide to produce non-living laboratory for our growing population. To check out the behind-the-scenes, scientists, farmers, and even backyard gardeners are doing their part to improve the quantity and quality of foods that we all rely upon. Together, we can continue to find more ways to increase food production and protect our precious natural environment. Only then
She got a bunch of farm behind her.
living with the land. On behalf of Walt Disney World, we hope you've enjoyed this unique journey through our living laboratory. If you'd like a closer look, then check out the behind-the-scenes walking tour. It's a chance for the whole family to get up close and personal with the plants and growing techniques in our laboratory.
Yeah.
Please keep your hands and feet inside the boat